Psychic abilities such as clairvoyance are not just skills, they are innate. We all have the potential to develop them. There are moments when intuition whispers in our ears like an echo of something beyond the visible, an invisible connection to a world that few dare to explore. This whisper is sometimes confused with mere inner voice, but those who venture into the unknown realize that there is more to this experience than simple thought. It's like a door opening to dimensions beyond everyday perception, where clairvoyance and other psychic phenomena take shape. When we touch this spiritual essence, it's like diving into the deep waters of mystery, where clairvoyance acts as a beacon illuminating fragments of this hidden universe. It reveals to us, through the shadows of consciousness, pieces of truth that we cannot explain through common reasoning. Are these flashes of perception merely a trick of our minds, or is there something greater at play? The feeling is akin to unveiling an ancient secret, shared by few. As we begin to accept these phenomena as part of our reality, we realize that clairvoyance can be a window into this spiritual world, connecting us with a broader energy. But how can we explore this ability without falling into the traps of our own minds? Perhaps the secret lies in understanding that the invisible world is not as distant as we think, it is an extension of what we already know. And with that, we are led to question, how close are we to unraveling it completely? Clairvoyance and spiritual growth. Clairvoyance, by definition, is the ability to see beyond physical perception, accessing invisible layers of reality. For many, it arises as an inexplicable gift. For others, it is a skill that can be cultivated over time. Either way, it is intrinsically linked to spiritual growth. It's as if, by strengthening our connection to the invisible world, we simultaneously deepen our understanding of who we truly are. This spiritual growth occurs when we immerse ourselves in the process of self-discovery. Meditating, contemplating, and paying attention to the subtle changes in our minds allow us to attune ourselves to this psychic aspect. By practicing self-awareness, we develop an inner clarity that transcends the physical, enabling clairvoyance to flourish. Intuition begins to manifest more frequently, and we realize that the universe is in constant dialogue with us. We just need to be open to listening. However, the development of clairvoyance is not an isolated path, it is intertwined with our spiritual evolution. Every step we take toward a deeper understanding of our own existence brings us closer to a clearer vision of the reality around us. And in this process, we ask ourselves, how far can this awakening take us? Are we ready to face the truths it may reveal? Dangers of pursuing psychic abilities for personal gain. When the desire to develop psychic abilities is driven by personal gain, the path becomes treacherous. The quest for power and control can distance the individual from their true spiritual essence. What was once a journey of self-discovery transforms into a trap that ensnares the soul in illusions, where the ego replaces the spirit. In this snare, the deeper purpose is set aside, and spiritual growth becomes stagnant. The desire to impress others or gain material advantages through these abilities creates a dangerous diversion. Like a traveler lost in an endless desert, one may find themselves wandering among mirages, believing they are advancing, but in reality, merely circling in place. The pursuit of external satisfaction tends to weaken the connection to the invisible world, resulting in murky visions and confused intuitions. What was once clear and true becomes lost in a sea of self-deception. It is essential to remember that psychic abilities are tools for inner growth, not bargaining chips to obtain favors from the universe. When we approach them with pure intention, we are guided by a higher force that leads us on our spiritual journey. However, if we stray toward personal gain, that force recedes, leaving us vulnerable to the traps of the mind and ego. And thus, the question arises, are we ready to use these abilities wisely, or will we be seduced by the false glimmers that appear along the way? Spiritual traditions and psychic development. Throughout the centuries, various spiritual traditions have explored the development of psychic abilities as part of a broader journey of self-knowledge and divine connection. In Buddhism, for example, the practice of deep meditation is seen as a way to access elevated levels of perception, where psychic abilities are regarded as natural byproducts of an enlightened mind. In Christianity, these gifts are often viewed as divine blessings, bestowed upon those who walk the path of faith with purity and devotion. In Sufism, the mystical states achieved through prayer and devotional dance are also known to expand perception beyond the physical. In this tradition, psychic development is not the final goal but a reflection of intimate communion with the divine. Each spiritual tradition, in its own way, offers a different route to psychic growth, but all share a common point: the importance of developing these abilities in alignment with elevated spiritual principles. As we navigate through these traditions, we realize that true psychic development cannot be separated from spiritual growth. These abilities are seen as doors that open only when the heart is aligned with the greater purpose of existence. This leads us to reflect: are we ready to follow this path with a pure spirit, or are we merely attracted to the fruits it may offer? The connection between brain waves and psychic perception. Our brain operates at different frequencies of brain waves, and each of these profoundly influences our perception of reality. When we enter deep meditation states, we activate alpha and theta waves, which are directly linked to our capacity for psychic perception. These waves allow us to access deeper levels of consciousness, where the barriers between the physical world and the invisible become more permeable, facilitating the awakening of clairvoyance and other psychic abilities. Practices of deep breathing and meditation serve as portals to these brain states, creating fertile ground for psychic abilities to flourish. When we silence the mind, we open space for the subtle signals of the universe to be perceived more clearly. It's as if we are tuning into a higher frequency, where messages from the invisible world can be captured with clarity. However, it requires discipline to remain in these states, as the mind naturally tends to wander. The connection between brain waves and psychic perception is a delicate dance between control and surrender. Through consistent practice, we can learn to navigate these states more easily, using them as tools for self-discovery. Yet, the lingering question remains: how can we maintain this connection without getting lost in the chaos of our own thoughts? Distinction between psychic visions and imagination. Distinguishing between psychic visions and imagination can be a subtle but essential task in developing psychic abilities. The mind, with its creative capacity, often deceives us by creating images and scenarios that may seem real but are merely products of imagination. In contrast, psychic visions possess a unique quality, an energetic weight that distinguishes them as more than mere fantasies. They carry a profound sense of truth that resonates internally in an unmistakable way. This distinction becomes clearer as we cultivate self-awareness and learn to observe our thoughts and feelings with discernment. Psychic visions often arise spontaneously, like flashes of insight or powerful symbols carrying deep messages. Imagination, on the other hand, tends to follow a more linear narrative, controlled by the conscious mind. Knowing how to differentiate between these two states is crucial to avoid confusion and to trust the perceptions we receive from the invisible world. There are simple practices that can assist in this differentiation process, such as keeping a psychic journal where we record our visions and reflections. Over time, patterns begin to emerge, revealing the nature of true visions and separating them from imagination. But what happens when both states intertwine? Can we always trust our perception, or do we need to learn to see with a more refined eye? Dream analysis, personal symbols, and subconscious awareness. Our dreams serve as portals to the vast territory of the subconscious, where personal symbols emerge as hidden guides, revealing aspects of our inner life. Analyzing these dreams is an ancient practice that allows us to interpret the messages of the subconscious, often revealing psychic truths that elude the conscious mind. These symbols, laden with profound meanings, act as keys to unlock the deeper layers of our psyche. As we learn to decode these symbols, we gain a broader understanding of ourselves and our spiritual journey. Recurring dreams, mysterious figures, or inexplicable scenarios are manifestations of our subconscious trying to communicate with us. By exploring these dreams with an introspective approach, we realize they offer us more than mere stories. They unveil the psychic aspects of our consciousness that are waiting to be discovered. Self-awareness and self-reflection are fundamental in this process. Without these practices, the symbols remain opaque, and the psychic messages are lost in the noise of the mind. However, when we create space for introspection, we begin to see these symbols in a new light. And then, the question arises, to what extent are we willing to dive into the depths of our own consciousness to uncover the mysteries it holds? The spiritual journey through clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is not merely a skill, it is a spiritual journey that guides us through paths of self-discovery and deep connection with the universe. Each vision, each insight we receive, is like a piece of a larger puzzle, gradually revealing the true nature of our existence. As we deepen this ability, we realize that it invites us to go beyond mere perception, leading us to a higher level of consciousness and spiritual alignment. This journey is not linear. It involves moments of expansion, where we feel profoundly connected to the whole, and moments of introspection, where we question our own perception and seek inner clarity. Clairvoyance challenges us to look beyond appearances, to see the world as it truly is, and to find our place within this vast mystery. It reminds us that we are more than physical bodies, we are spiritual beings on a continuous journey of evolution. Practices such as meditation and other spiritual disciplines are the keys to deepening this connection with the invisible world. They help us access deeper psychic states and develop the clarity needed to navigate the vastness of the unknown. And as we advance, one question remains: how far can this journey take us? Are we ready to uncover the secrets it holds?